What's up, Wildcats? I'm excited today to talk to you about Flipgrid and how you can use it during your remote learning adventure. Flipgrid isn't new. It is an awesome resource. We have talked about it in the past. I know a lot of you have used it. I'm hoping today to give you some different ideas for how to use it in a remote learning environment and also show you some of the newer features that I think can be super helpful as we try to engage our students and deliver instruction in a different way. So if you're not familiar with Flipgrid, it is a free resource for educators, and it provides an opportunity for us to ask questions, and students can respond via video. From there, they can respond to each other via video if you have that option open, and then you can, as a teacher, provide written feedback or video feedback to students as well. Another really great feature now, brand new this week, is that students can actually share their screen in the video. So let's say that you wanted them to talk you through some sort of an article or a presentation. You can have them talk through something and share their screen. You can also have the students turn on the whiteboard feature, and I'll show you that. So let's say that you want your students to figure out some sort of an equation. They can draw it on their trackpad. But again, it provides a really great option for different ways for students to show their learning. You know, I would argue as a faculty, our biggest focus should be how can we continue to give students opportunities to be engaged in what they're doing? How can we allow them to take ownership? And also, how can we continue to help them work on skills that they're going to need next year or if they're graduating in the future? Obviously, we're going to have to pull back on some of the content that we're teaching, but at the same time, we can give them opportunities to build those skills that we know are so important. And Flipgrid is a really great resource for that. So again, when engaging students, it provides opportunities for student voice while also creating an authentic audience for them. You can ask your students to reflect on maybe something they're reading, something they've seen, maybe what they're thinking about what's going on in our world, or just kind of what's going on in your class. An opportunity for them to share with you what's going on in their mind. You can give them opportunities to review kind of what each other is saying or each other's work, or just giving each other feedback about what they're thinking, what they're questioning, and so on. Let's say that you ask your students to read something, watch something, and then draw a conclusion. You can have them analyze, synthesize, and then do that right on Flipgrid. So talk about an authentic assessment where students have to look at different things and then come in and give you some sort of answer or thought or question. And then from there, you can give your feedback or they can give feedback to one another. So there are a lot of really great options when it comes to engagement, ownership, and then also instructional delivery when it comes to Flipgrid. And I would argue that it's a game changer in the classroom, especially in a remote learning setting. So again, if you have any questions for how to use Flipgrid for this reason, remember you can always reach out to Steve Wick, Julie Manny, or myself, or someone in your department who has used it. A lot of really great features in there, a lot I might not even cover in this video, but again, there's great resources on the site and just so many different ideas out in the world for how to use this effectively with students. So I'm actually going to take you to flipgrid.com to show you the resource itself. Again, we've got a bunch of tutorials that will actually take you through how to do everything, but I want to show you some of the newer features and then just some of the important pieces so that if you wanted to use it tomorrow with your students, you have the tools to do so. So when you get to flipgrid.com, notice that all you have to do is go to Educator Login up here, and it's going to have you log in with your Google account. So I'm going to log in here. And notice it's going to take you right away to your main grid page. Okay. And notice here that it shows you all of the different grids that I have. There are two terms you need to understand if you're new to Flipgrid. What is a grid? And then also a topic. A grid is kind of like your class or your group that you want kind of grouped together. So for example, if you have 5 different class periods, you might have 5 different grids, one for each class period. If you teach 3 sections of maybe physics, you could have all 3 sections in one grid, which means that they can see each other and respond to each other. It just depends on how you want to organize it. From there, after you create a grid, in the grid, you're going to have something called topics. So I'm going to create a new grid first just so I can show you how it works. I'm going to just do remote learning. From there, you're going to want to click on school email so that students have to log into their Google account. I'm going to click on next. Notice that when you add the school email, ipsd.org automatically shows up because that's my email address, but you want to also add at k12.ipsd.org because that's our students account, and then click on next, and then your grid is made. Okay. Once your grid is made, that's when you're going to want to create your topic. And the topic is kind of like the question or the task. And that's really where you can get into the nitty gritty of what do you want your students to record. You can choose how long can students, or do you want students to respond? It actually now goes all the way up to 10 minutes if you want them to respond or give some sort of a formal presentation. Again, I found that after about 1.5 to 2 minutes, students do get repetitive, but again, it depends on how you want to use it, but there's options for it to get longer. You can also add links to assignments or YouTube videos. You could record an instructional video. I'm going to click on add new topic really fast. I'm not going to go through this whole thing because again, there's instructions for that, but down here behind my picture, it says more options. So this is where you can decide, like, do you want your students to see one another or not? If you don't want them to see each other, let's say that you're using it as an assessment, you would just turn on video moderation. That's one of the options for each topic. Student-to-student replies, launch and freeze dates. Do you want them to be able to edit? That's a new feature. Students can maybe record something, and let's say that they forgot to add a comment. They can actually re-record a piece of it and then section it together. A really great option because, as we all know, when we're recording videos, sometimes we do forget. So it provides options for students to revise the work that they're doing. A lot of other features. And then from there, an option for feedback. You can create a rubric that you use for all of your students, or you can just use the basic feedback option. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. But again, this creating new topic piece is probably the most important element when it comes to designing how you're having your students engage with Flipgrid. Again, if you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out, and you can always go back and edit the topic after you've created it as well. So I'm going to go back to my grids really fast. I want to show you kind of what it looks like on the teacher end so that you know kind of what you're walking into. So I'm going to go to an old grid, professional development. Notice that I've got 3 different topics here. I'm going to go to example question. Okay, so as you add more topics or questions, they're all going to be listed there. Notice that in this question, there's one response. Yes, I responded to my own question. Notice that if there was a green ring around it, that means that I haven't seen it yet. From there, what I can do is I can click on it.
This is my example video.
Here's my video. I'm seeing this, remember, as a teacher. This is where I can either click on this plus sign here and provide feedback in a video form to the students. I can type up comments if I wanted to type my feedback, and then I can actually click on right behind my little picture of me here. It says email, and it'll directly email the student back your feedback. Also notice that down here, someone actually replied to this, another student in my class replied to this video. So if I click on this, notice.
That was a really good video.
So I responded, but notice now that you can see that as a teacher, and then you can respond as well. When you respond, it only goes back to the person who did the original video. Okay. So if you ever want to see the student view, and I'm going to show you this view just so that I can show you the newer features I was talking about. When you're in the topic, all you need to do is go to flip code right here and click on the code. And I'm going to view it as a student. So if I were to go into Google Classroom, and again, you can share your topic right to Google Classroom when you create it. That's one of the options. So it makes it super easy. I would click on the link, and this is where I would come up. Okay. Notice here's my example question, and there's been one response. As a student, I could see that Melissa W. has responded. If I want to, because video moderation was off, I can click on it and I can watch it. I can also watch the reply. Now let's say that I wanted to record it. Here's kind of where hopefully you'll see something new. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. Okay, the students have to log in with Google. And then if you want to, you can have them just record a video and talk to you. Okay. If they wanted to, they can add a sticky note here where they can type in some notes for themselves. So as they're speaking, they can read off of something. A lot of kids really like that feature. Notice that this video only can be 1 minute long. So as students are recording, there's a countdown. Okay. If you want students to share their screen, which is, as I said, brand new this week, all you have to do is have them click on this video options down here. Notice that it's in beta because it was just released. The kids don't know how to do this either, so you're going to have to tell them how to do this. They would just click on screen recording, and then from there, it gives them the option to record their desktop, and then they can talk you through some of their work. Okay. Notice that down here, if I go to this little board, I can click on the board, and I can create a whiteboard, and then from there I can draw all over it. So if a student's speaking, they can use a whiteboard. As I said, maybe for a math or science class, they can do some sort of an equation on there. Okay, I'm going to clear that. You can also make it into a blackboard if you want. Okay, clear that again. Students can, so I'm going to go to, they can type. So if I wanted to have them type something, type in orange, they can type some text on there as well. So again, some really new features for not only just doing a video recording, which is pretty cool. From there, after they're going to record, then they're going to take their selfie, and then it goes right back up there. So again, some really great options for not only hearing their voice, but having them show their work either on their screen or having them use their mouse to maybe draw something or type something out. Okay. So last thing I want to show you, kind of on my page here. So I'm going to X out of the student view. Okay. Notice at the top up here, I'm logged into Flipgrid. There are two really cool options that I've never really explored that I noticed today. There's this thing called the Disco Library, which if you go down, it actually has assignments that have been made by other people. And then from there, you can actually just, let's say that you found something in here. When you click on something, you can actually decide what audience you want it. So obviously we would click on high school. Not all of the topics have something for every grade level. And then you can actually assign it to one of your classes. So again, a really great opportunity to see what other people are doing across the country. And then from there, have students doing similar activities. So I thought that was kind of cool if you're looking for some ideas. Also, I thought this was awesome. You can create these shorts, which are 10-minute screencast style videos that you can share with anyone. So it says it allows you to use the power of Flipgrid camera to easily share a video with anyone. So I'm using Screencastify to record this video, but if I wanted to, I could record a short on here on Flipgrid, and I could do a quick overview of something for my students, and then I could share that video with them. So I've never used that before, but I thought that was really awesome when I saw that today. Okay. Last thing I want to show you. If you have any questions about Flipgrid, like I said, please use one of your resources in the building, but also know that there are really great resources and instructions out on the internet too. Flipgrid has awesome resources. They also have a brand new remote learning resource. If you click on here, it's all things connected to remote learning. Obviously, everyone is doing this. So a lot of these tech companies have done a really great job of providing resources and ideas for teachers. So again, just a lot of really great ideas on here for you for how to use Flipgrid with your students in this kind of setting. Okay. The other thing, if I'm back here on flipgrid.com, if I just go up to resources, I mean, there are so many options on here. Probably one of my favorite is just this Flipgrid integration docs, where you can actually search for age-specific things for students to do. Like if I went to language or science, grades 9 through 12. And then from there, it has just some different ideas for you for how to use this and what other people have done connected to different pieces of that content. So again, really, really great resources. I'm going to bring you back to this screen really fast. When it comes to Flipgrid, as I said, just a lot of really great opportunities to have students doing, sharing, creating in this remote learning setting. So again, talk about engagement, talk about ownership, and just different ways for you to deliver instruction, for kids to deliver instruction, and to give feedback back and forth. So again, please let us know how we can support you when it comes to anything regarding remote learning, but hopefully Flipgrid is something that you can try to use with your students and motivate them to be excited to learn. So thanks for watching.